Good afternoon and welcome to SAIT Newsfile. I'm Ella Matt. Jake Stagerman will have a look at sports later in the show. What can we expect, Jake?
Well, Ella, there's tons of junior hockey playoffs going in Alberta right now. And later, we're going to take a look at some March Madness stuff as Final Four starts this weekend. And capping it off with a Raptors story with them having a big game tonight in the Eastern Conference.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing those scores. Chelsea Kavanagh has been enjoying the elements out there. What are the conditions like out there, Chelsea?
Well, Ella, spring has definitely sprung here in Calgary. It is a beautiful sunny day out today. 0 is the high for today. That is actually nothing compared to the high last year at 18 degrees. That high coming even closer to the record high back in 1930 at 20.6 degrees. But of course, it wouldn't be Calgary without a chilly record low back in 1956 at minus 27.2 on this day. Definitely not spring-friendly weather. Of course, I will have the full forecast for you later in the show, but for now, back to you, Ella.
Thanks, Chelsea. Now, here's a look at today's latest stories. The federal government revealed its 2023 budget this afternoon. One of the main items on the agenda is the one-time payment to help grocery store shoppers deal with the rising inflation costs. We have Noah Adler joining us live from Sunnyside Natural Market just off 10th Street Northwest. Noah, grocery shoppers are happy to hear that they may be getting a rebate.
That's right, Ella. I was over at Sunnyside Market early this morning. The federal government says money is coming to help benefit low-income Canadians, and that's resonating with them.
I have been the brokest I've ever been right now, and it is a little scary.
It's been a tough couple of years for Canadians with rising costs across the board. Everything from housing to food is much more expensive than it has been. The federal government is trying to address some of those challenges in today's budget. A one-time rebate payment will go to low-income Canadians who are struggling to make ends meet.
I think it's a good start, but I don't think it's going to be making any major waves. I think that the government should be helping people out during this time, if not kind of freezing or helping the grocery prices. I think a rebate's a good start, but it's definitely not solving the problem.
Rising inflation costs have forced families to find better alternatives. It's especially important for people like Eleanor Fordor, who has 2 young boys she's trying to feed.
Yeah, we try to find the right stores. We try to find sales and deals, but still, it's considerable when you have 2 kids who have a big appetite.
There is hope the rebate can be a positive for local grocery stores throughout the city, and hopefully encourage more shoppers to buy local.
I hope this rebate helps people make the decision to support local rather than to support big corporate chains where the money goes right outside of our communities.
There were several other items in the agenda in the budget from the federal government this afternoon. We are going to be facing a pretty big deficit. The government says that the deficit will be more than $40 billion. There is also a $70 billion spending plan, which will take place from now until 2028. Back to you in the studio, Ella.
That was Noah Adler reporting live from outside the Sunnyside Market in Kensington. A teenage girl was shot dead in an alley this morning in northeast community of Martindale. Sounds of gunshots were reported around 1:30. The Calgary Police Services Homicide Unit are investigating and say it's still unknown if the shooting was targeted. The victim was seated in the passenger seat of the black Mustang before her body was removed from the vehicle. Currently, the man driving the car is being questioned by police, and anyone with information is asked to contact Crime Stoppers. A woman was transported to the hospital in life-threatening conditions after she was stabbed early this morning. Emergency crews responded to a home in Martindale just after 3. EMS say the victim was a woman in her mid-30s who suffered a stab wound. Later, she was updated to stable conditions while in medical care. And police have taken a man who was in the scene into custody. Investigators say the victim and the suspect did know each other. More updates are to come on this story. The cleanup continues today in the northeast community of Marlborough after a terrible explosion left at least 10 people seriously injured Monday morning. Debris from the explosion hit 8 homes and sparked fires in 2 of them. As Travis Neal reports, damage is coming.
It was kind of scary. I don't know what happened, so I don't know. It's scary. It's really scary.
Police and fire crews were called to the 700 block of Maryvale Way in the northeast community of Marlborough yesterday morning after a house explosion. Residents of the community were left in shock at how this could have happened, with some saying the blast was so loud it rocked their whole house.
I was snuggling with my grandson on the couch, and I heard an explosion, and like the whole house shook. We were on the couch, and look, we shook. So it was scary. So I put my grandson down, ran to the basement, thinking it was something in the basement because that's how loud it was.
Emergency crews found 10 people seriously injured at the scene who were transported to the hospital by ambulance. All of the victims were adults, and 6 of them have life-threatening injuries. The explosion damaged surrounding houses, cars, as well as leaving other residents in the area without power. Many younger residents were also at home for spring break when the incident occurred, with several saying the sound and smoke outside were very startling.
I felt kind of like worried and scared a bit.
I hear it sound, and with the fire I see it, and then even my neighbor was coming out. The electric was everything shut down, like everything is like it was bad that time.
Efforts are being made to provide financial aid to the injured, who are apparently members of Calgary's Sudanese community. Firefighters were on scene till late last night, making sure the explosion was fully put out. Police are still investigating the cause of the fire. Arson is believed to be one of the possible causes. Until further notice from first responders, it is still under investigation. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Travis Neal.
4 people survived and escaped a house fire in southeast Calgary last night. Firefighters acted fast to put the flames out before they had a chance to be spread. Crews arrived on the scene to see smoke coming out of the home, and they drenched the interior to extinguish the flame. Only 1 patient was assessed by emergency crews before being released with minor injuries. The fire started from a cooking incident, and residents will have to stay somewhere else for the time being, according to the fire department. 2 Edmonton police officers in the line of duty last week were honored and remembered at a sorrowful funeral attended by many yesterday. Travis Jordan and Brett Ryan were shot a little over a week ago while on the scene of a family dispute in a condo in northwest Edmonton. Edmonton's police community, friends, and family gathered to mourn the 2 men. Ashley Ryan, who is to be the mother of Brett Ryan's first child, says her husband will forever be their child's angel.
I would like to share something that my friend and coworker sent to me just a few days after Brett's passing. Grief. You'll find it comes in waves. When the ship is first wrecked, you're drowning with the wreckage all around you. Everything floating around you reminds you of the beauty of the ship that is no more. All you can do is float.
The deaths of the officer have been met with outpouring messages of support from the community. In return, both families have expressed their gratitude for the community support. Across the country in Quebec, another police officer was killed at the scene last night. While trying to arrest a man for uttering threats, Sergeant Murin Brown with over 20 years of experience was stabbed. After the attack, a pair of officers arrived at the scene and one of them fatally shot the 35-year-old male suspect. The provincial police say another officer out of the 5 investigating the sergeant's death was injured, but is expected to recover. An increase in scammer calls over the recent months have affected a lot of Calgarians, but one group in particular is being targeted more in what is being called the grandparent scam or the emergency scam. Our city's seniors are losing money. Brendan Donalds has more on the story.
Scam calls are on the rise in the city, and one group is being attacked a lot more than others. Police say elderly people are often the main victims of these attacks. Stats Canada shows 6,600 people are reporting a fraudulent attack in just the first month of the year. Close to 4,000 of them actually fell victim to these crimes. The amount of money is staggering, close to $44 million. What's even worse, just a fraction of the money is ever recovered. Students like Reese Malone have elderly family members getting targeted by these scammers.
So my grandma got a call, and it was basically a scammer posing as my little cousin, and he knew my grandma's name, and he was like, "Grandma, I've been in a car accident and I've been arrested. Like, I need you to bail me out of jail." And it was really scary for my grandma until she kind of finally clued in, like, this is maybe a little fishy.
Not only are the scammers targeting people, but they are doing it often, with sometimes calls coming multiple times a day.
And when it's at its worst, I'm getting a scam call like every 10 minutes sometimes for a period of a few days. Like I say, it comes and goes, so at the moment it's not so bad.
Calgary Police Service knows how the scammers like to operate, with a lot of the time them wanting to get things done right away.
Well, with the fraudulent calls, usually what they're trying to kind of take advantage of is urgency. They want to make it sound urgent, so you will do whatever they're requesting and provide some funds to them.
With the amount of scam calls that are happening right now, RCMP and Calgary Police Services are saying that they really advise you just to ignore them as best as you possibly can. And if you do believe that you are being scammed, to really make sure that you contact the Calgary Police Service.
Yeah, we definitely like it reported to the Calgary Police Service. Also reported to the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre. Online you can do that, which is a big help because these trends don't just start locally, they start across the country and spread across. And any information that can be given to the authorities does help, and we can get the messaging out to hopefully prevent people from being victims.
For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Brendan Donald.
With midterm season rapidly approaching, SAIT Student Development and Counseling is reminding students that support is never far away. Granola bars, juice boxes, and jumbo chests weren't the only benefits offered at SAIT's Let's Talk event. Organized by SAIT Student Development and Counseling, Let's Talk is designed to help students learn more about mental health resources available on campus. Kalensha Aguda, a medical engineering student and technology student at SAIT, says these resources give students the support they need. The next Let's Talk event will be held The next Let's Talk event will be held at the Johnson Home Building next Wednesday. Students from all walks of life move through the doors at SAIT and are immersing themselves in the community. Many are newcomers to Canada and have to juggle different things local students don't have to. To help with that, the government of Alberta has announced support for newcomers in the province. Taryn Jovinning has more.
Communities. Oftentimes, many of them have to face multiple obstacles along the way. One of those being funding their education and juggling a job alongside taking care of their families back home. Keeping that in mind, the Alberta government announced it will be committing $23.8 million to help immigrants settle in to their new environment.
Alberta is stronger because of the many newcomers who add to the social, economic, and cultural fabric of our province. Newcomers make our communities more vibrant, and they bring new skills and talents that ensure our province's long-term success.
Newcomers are vital for the day-to-day life of our province. They help diversify and grow the economy alongside tackling many obstacles along the way. The Settlement and Integration Program provides services to 14,000 newcomers. Here at SAIT, international students come from more than 140 different countries, attracted by the school's reputation around the world.
Yeah, it's been a considerable evolution at SAIT over the last multiple years. Our demographic has changed considerably, both students that are domestic and students that are international as well.
On campus, students often have to face tough financial decisions. Some have to work a lot of hours to just make ends meet.
The one thing that we don't want is students to withdraw or have to drop out of SAIT because of personal challenges or financial difficulties.
Newcomers have to learn a new language, culture, and so much more, along with other responsibilities. Many of their peers hope that burden can be removed by the new funding from the government. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Taryn Jovinning.
Those are today's top stories. We'll have your full forecast after the break. But first, Chelsea Kavanagh has a look at what's going on around Calgary this week.
Are your parents still asking how to take an iPhone photo? Well, never fear, the experts at Apple have you covered. Come on in to the Market Mall location on March 29th and get brushed up on your iPhone photography skills at the Managing Family Devices event. Update your bling collection at Canada's largest gem show, Calgary Rock and Gem, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Spruce Meadows Equiplex. Admission is just $2. Have a knack for hot rods, trucks, and motorcycles? Well, come on down to the 55th annual Calgary World of Wheels event at the BMO Centre this Friday. General admission is $18. Cobb's Bread is giving you the chance to be a hero in your community at their 3rd annual Donation Day. Every $2 from each 6-pack of hot cross buns purchased will be donated to a local charity. Get that belly laugh warmed up and ready to go for the April 2nd Funny Fest comedy show at the Canadian Brewhouse in the University District. Admission is $12.
Welcome home. What took you so long?
Every single Wednesday, Rumble House hosts an open house auction for their community to auction off their artwork. Beginner or experienced, Rumble House invites artists of all skill levels to participate in their weekly events.
To get involved in our events, call or text 403-629-7424
403-629-7424
or check us out on Facebook for more information.
Come and learn the breaking world of broadcast news. Find your passion to investigate, write, shoot, edit, and deliver the stories of the day. SAIT's broadcast news program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in radio and television. Become the next great anchor, reporter, or personality using industry standard technology alongside qualified instructors with years of experience. This is broadcast news. Come and dare to be on air.
Welcome back to SAIT Newsfile. Let's check out how that spring weather has been treating Canada so far. Starting on the west, Vancouver looking absolutely phenomenal at this time of year, of course. If you are heading out there to do some spring camping or some hiking, just beware there is a dust warning in the Great Lakes area, Burns Lake specifically, so definitely pack for the weather in that area. If we move closer into the prairie part of the country here, we are seeing some lower temperatures, definitely dropping far below zero. That is due to a cold front that is kind of hanging around the area. That will be pushing its way out, but for the time being, we are seeing some chilly weather. And if we check out the east part of the country, St. John does have a little bit of a snowfall at the moment, but they do have that 1 degree really melting things quickly, so no road problems in that area. And we do have a high pressure system moving down through the central part there, making things really, really steady and some warm temperatures in that area. And if we want to talk about warm temperatures, let's head over to our resorts. Palm Springs is 26 degrees. Barbados is seeing a bit of cloud, but still a toasty 29. Cancun and Honolulu are both getting some cloud coverage and hovering around the mid-20s. It's nothing but rays over in Orlando with a nice 27, while Vegas is in winter mode at 15 degrees and cloudy. Calgary today is a high of 0, mainly sunny conditions, a little bit of wind coming in from the southeast area, 15 kilometers an hour, bringing us down to a bit of a -5 feel at the moment. We are expecting some sun throughout the rest of the week, which will warm things up into the weekend. And let's take a look at the rest of the province. So as I mentioned earlier, we do have a cold front kind of blanketing over that lower part of the province at the moment. So we do have some colder temperatures in the area, some cloud hanging around. But if we do move up a little bit in the Grand Prairie area, we're seeing some sunnier conditions. That spring weather is really bringing itself forward up there. Calgary is sitting at that kind of 0 median area. But as I mentioned, that cold front is really pushing its way out this week. So things are going to heat up a lot. And now let's take a look at the 5-day forecast. So we are going to see plenty of sun coming up tomorrow and all the way throughout the week. Thursday is going to drop a little bit back to that 0 temperature. But again, Friday morning, get ready to wake up with some real warm temperatures. We might even get to 10 by Sunday, depending on how things go with the weather. And after the break, we're going to head over to the world of sports with Jake Staggerman.
I used to hear voices. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I don't matter. Walked around in circles, didn't know where to go. Until I found my purpose. Through people that helped me live a better life and build a better future. Now I could finally see that I'm able, capable, and worthy.
Come and learn the fast-paced world of television production. Find your passion to write, shoot, edit, and direct news, sports, and dramatic productions. With industry standard technology and the best instructors in the business, SAIT's television production program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in broadcasting. This is television production. Come and dare to be on air.
Welcome back to SAIT Newsfile. Jake Stegerman joins us now for the latest look at the highlights. What can we expect?
Well, Ella, before we get into some Flames news and their game tonight, we have basketball going on around the world. We have the March Madness, which is very big, and the Raptors are playing a very important Eastern Conference game tonight, so we'll take a look at that later. The Calgary Flames revealed their first ever Pride Night jersey in time for tonight's tilt with the Los Angeles Kings. Designed by local artist Megan Parker, the Pride jerseys will be worn by Flames players during warm-ups. Flames players and staff have received a large amount of support from the NHL as well as the queer community. Dylan Dubé modeled the new jersey and encourages everyone to feel comfortable within the hockey world.
We're all equals. We're all in this together. We're all supporting everybody, and our organization is, a big factor in that. And always want everyone to come to the game tomorrow and feel welcome and be themselves.
The players will sign the Pride-themed jerseys, and they will be auctioned off in support of the CSEC inclusion program. In the Western Hockey League, our Calgary Hitmen prepare for the first round of playoffs starting this Friday. The 7-seed Hitmen will take on the 2-seed Red Deer Rebels, who have been dominant all year long. Calgary and Red Deer have gone head-to-head in 8 games this season, and it's been all Red Deer as they came out on winners 6 times. Even with the Hitmen's late-season struggles, forward Riley Fiddler-Schultz led the way with 31 goals and 75 points on the year. As the quarterfinals are officially set, and there's plenty of must-watch hockey in both conferences. Junior hockey sensation Connor Bedard draws lots of attention as the Regina Pats battle the Saskatoon Blades, and the heavily favored Seattle Thunderbirds face off with the Kelowna Rockets. For the Calgary Hitmen, they will travel to Red Deer for games 1 and 2 starting Friday night at 7 o'clock. Red Deer finished strong this year with 92 points, as the Hitmen limped in with 70 points. Taking a look at the AJHL playoffs that are underway, the Okotoks Oilers just evened things up at 1 game apiece with the Brooks Bandits. With no scoring in the first, we pick things up in the second as Hunter Sakwa buries his second of the playoffs off a dish from Jackson Rowland. Didn't take long for Brooks to respond as Aiden Fink taps in a backdoor pass from Hunter Wallace to even the score at 1. 10 minutes later, off a turnover, Connor Gorley's initial shot was stopped, but he finds a way off the rebound for his 3rd playoff tally. Later in the period, Mikhail Simchuk scores in the slot to bring the game within 1. Despite the late push from the Bandits, it wasn't enough as Parker Sakwa picks up the win for the Oilers. With a 3-2 win, the series is now tied at 1. Game 3 is tonight at the Okotoks Centennial Arena. Puck drop is set for 7 o'clock. The final 4 out of 64 teams are set in the NCAA men's basketball tournament. From Midwest region, the University of Miami Hurricanes are representing as they defeated the Texas Longhorns. Florida Atlantic has shocked the world as they represent the East region with a win over Kansas State. The San Diego State Aztecs come out of the South region after a nail-biter win against Creighton. And in the West region, the Yukon Huskies ran away with a 28-point win over the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Starting at 4:09 on Saturday, San Diego State and Florida Atlantic square off. Following that game will be Yukon and Miami at 6:49. Winners will tip off in the national championship that is scheduled for Monday, April 3rd. Over in the NBA, the Toronto Raptors are back home against the Miami Heat, following a 10-point win over Washington on Saturday. Early on, Fred VanVleet comes off the screen and hits the floater plus the foul. Later on in the first, OG Anunoby drains the 3 to start off his big night with 29 points. Then, off a jump ball, Pascal Siakam beats everyone to it and caps off the fast break at the rim. In the second, Siakam continues to cook with a step-back jumper. He ended with 19 points and 11 boards. Toronto ends up controlling the lead for the rest of the game and secures their 37th win. OG Anunoby and Fred VanVleet led the way for the Raps. The Wizards were definitely missing their star guard Bradley Beal, who's been out due to left knee soreness. Toronto plays a must-win game tonight against the Miami Heat as the Eastern Conference play-in scenario remains close. Tip-off is scheduled for 5:30. And that's a look at sports. I can't wait to watch more of that March Madness that's happening this weekend.
Oh yeah, have you your bracket made for the Elite Four or the Final Four?
I mean, I think everyone's just kind of kind of blown up at this point, but yeah, still looking to see who wins it, especially one of those underdogs. So we'll see what happens.
Definitely, yeah. Well, now we can have a look at some Muay Thai. Muay Thai is often referred as the art of...
That's after the break.
Come and learn the breaking world of broadcast news. Find your passion to investigate, write, shoot, edit, and deliver the stories of the day. SAIT's broadcast news program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in radio and television. Become the next great anchor, reporter, or personality using industry standard technology alongside qualified instructors with years of experience. This is broadcast news. Come and dare to be on air.
Muay Thai is often referred as the art of 8 limbs, as is characterized as the use of fists, elbows, knees, and shins. A local Calgarian is proving that wrong and taking the Muay Thai world by storm. Eric Kennedy has the story.
Calgarian Jake Peacock was born missing part of his right arm. However, that hasn't stopped him from overcoming adversity and climbing his way to the top as a Muay Thai fighter.
My mum put me in martial arts when I was 7 years old for self-defense and extracurricular activity. Just took a liking to it. As a kid, you're always playing Power Rangers and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, jumping around, spinning around, all of that. So I was pretty much doing that on the mats. Loved it from the start.
Peacock has a decorated career in Muay Thai. He is the reigning Canadian welterweight and North American super welterweight Muay Thai champion. He has now opened his own gym here in Calgary, Dunamis, where he passes down his knowledge of the sport he loves.
It's a great privilege to get to pass down that information that I've learned over 29 years. Well, 29 years of life. I've been training for about 22 years in martial arts. So to get to pass that down, everything that I've learned, to amateur fighters, professional fighters, and then just the regular public, is a fantastic privilege.
Peacock has had to fight through adversity. For most, this would be an issue. His training partners use it as motivation to never back down and know that anything is possible with the right mentality.
Me and my brothers always talk about it. We forget that he has one arm. Like it doesn't even come to your mind. It's like a negligible factor in his mind. He pushes through his mentality, you know. And I just try to, if anything, I try to carry those things through into my martial arts career and just life in general.
Despite Muay Thai being the art of 8 limbs, Jake Peacock proves that wrong. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Eric Kennedy.
Bear dog. I don't know about you guys, but maybe with this really warm weather, we could do some Muay Thai outside.
Absolutely. Well, as I mentioned earlier, Ella, the weekend is looking absolutely fantastic, and the rest of the week as well. I mean, there is sun all around, only seeing a little bit of cloud later in the week, but again, that clears right up on Friday. I mean, a high of 8 ready, you know, this early in the spring season, especially for Calgary, is fantastic. And as we can see, it goes a little bit more up on Saturday, so I'm expecting double digits by Sunday. I don't know about you guys, but spring break really makes me remember how many little kids are running around all the time instead of being in school.
Yeah, I don't know, it's kind of crazy. My neighborhood on my street, there'll just be kids outside playing hockey left and right. I don't know, what about in your neighborhood, Jake?
The best times, I'd say, remembering too, you know, the nice weather, you get out there and you start doing a little more outdoor activities. So as spring kind of gets going, yeah, let's get outside, and I'm glad the weather's looking a lot better for the weekend.
Yeah, it makes me want to get outside and, you know, go on some hikes. I don't know about you, Chelsea, but
yeah, absolutely.
Going out?
I'm a big hiker. I haven't done any this season quite yet, but I'm definitely planning on it. So we'll have to see where it looks the best. It might be a little too hot at this point. I think I need a little more cooler weather to get out there and be walking up a hill for hours. But
definitely, yeah. Well, we'll see you next time on SAIT Newsfile.